Hey guys, it's Slumming Rush. I went on to What Replays. I sorted World of Tanks replays by kills, and then I looked through basically the top 5. And this is, in my opinion, one of the coolest games in that list. There weren't many. A lot of them were people just getting really lucky, but this one, actual thought, really well played, and I'm very excited to show it to you today. So this is Zvoky, I think. It's C-V-O-K-Y, probably not Kavoki, as you would, whatever, it doesn't matter, hits his name. He's on the map Sand River, and Sand River's a really interesting map because he's in his T67. I suspect he's got a wicked crew. This guy's actually got his tank 2 marked, so he clearly has about 100 games, you know, and I just, based on how he gets spotted, I think he has a really good crew. So given the circumstances, really what I would typically do on a map like this is I would go to K3. And the reason to go to K3 on a map like this is you get shots into the mid, and you also position yourself nicely to push the south. Now, Zvoky is literally going to do that. I'm so happy to see this because I get to see someone play exactly how I do. And then by watching him play, there's iterations of my game, you know, played by him basically, and I get to see how it works out really well. So he comes over to here, and if you look behind him, he's not, but he might be looking at his map. If you look behind him, he's got an ELC, M10, BDR, and basically a couple other things. Now, their lineup, he's able to do this. There's only 2 arty, there's 1 scout. If he has no support, he shouldn't expect to find a whole host of enemy vehicles over here anyways. So it's not like he's going into the field on Malinovka when there's 8 lights on the enemy team, right? So it's a reasonable play. Now, he comes up to here, K3. This is exactly how I'd play it. How he's sitting on the red line lets him shoot over this ridge, and he spots nothing. He sets up his binocs. Part of it could be he has no scout, because binocs still won't necessarily light someone on this ridge. But he pokes up, he finds a Panzer III-4, and he's basically not able to do anything towards the right-hand side of his tank. Like, he's not able to shoot anyone. That's pretty normal. Now, at this point, Zvoky's kind of trying to get shots, and you can see he's clearly looking for him. This is the right play. The ELC's pushing in, he sees that happening, and he's actually going to follow. Now, I don't like to follow like that. I think driving over that hill, you're accelerating slowly uphill and then you cross. I think it's risky. It's easier just to come back down to here. Doesn't really matter. Here he is, and he's all alone. So he's by himself. There's an ELC kind of out of position behind him. And if you look at his map, this isn't surprising, right? Like, you can see he's got a KV-1 behind him, and he's doing the right thing here. He's checking to see if he has support. So poking up like this, really good idea. He's going to set up his binocs because he hasn't been spotted. And then once they're set up, he doesn't spot anything. Now, normally there's going to be one of their 3 tank destroyers back here at least, but you know, we see one right here, so he doesn't have to worry about it. Now, because he didn't get lit and he hasn't been getting spotted, he tries to get a shot here. I think it's really cheeky to do. I support it entirely. He wasn't getting spotted, so he can get away with it. Now, pushing in, finds a Panzer III-4. Now, this is not a reasonable place to attack, and Zvoky realizes it because they can just poke on him and he has no cover. Now, as they poke into him, he changes the dynamic of this fight. Instead of playing up here where they can literally just poke on him, he comes down to this angle. This is step 2 of pushing the K-line, in my opinion. You always want to take this type of position because it's really hard. You control the engagement. They don't get to decide when they're attacked, basically, as opposed to if you're on the hill, they control that. So coming down to here works really well. He's able to get shots into the M10 and the Panzer III-4. These guys are not playing really well, but his trading is really bad as well. As a T67 with only 500 HP, I would never advise taking these 1-for-1 trades, because that's effectively what it is. It's 2-for-1. It's still not perfect. So he stops eventually, and then he gets shots on a T67. And you can see he didn't necessarily spot the 67 from his initial scouting position in J2, but the ELC was able to find him. He picks up the kill on the Panzer III-4, saving the ELC. Then the T67 pokes, trying to get shots in the ELC, and he's just playing held down right here. Really easy position to make work. And this, after these couple shots, I'm actually just going to pause it right here. If you were to look at the map, what is Zvoky's next play to win the game? Because if you look at the map right here, his team they've won the south, right? For the most part, they've won the south. They've lost the mid. He's facing this direction as if he's going to go back. We don't know if he is or not. At least you don't. I do. What is the game-winning play? Like, what is step 1 to the carry? I'll give you a second or two to figure it out, and then I'll just continue the replay. Okay, so if you guessed going after the KV-1 after looking at the map and for whatever reason you decided pushing into the T-67 wasn't optimal, you were right. That's exactly what Svoki does. And, well, this is the position he decides to use. This is really strong because it allows him to not get spotted, and by staying here, he's still able to shoot at the T-67 over to his left if he decides to. Easy shots in the ass of the KV-1. This guy's clearly not the best player. Like, you normally wouldn't find a KV-1 in this type of position, but there he is. And Svoki's able to get the kill. He's done 1,300 damage, 3 kills so far, and then a Churchill 1 is here as well. So the T-67 has an increased ammo capacity. With that, it's totally reasonable to shoot down buildings, and the Churchill gets safe. So this is kind of where step 3 of the game comes out, right? Like, he started in K3, he won this side of the map, and now he's using the position to do well. After he kills Artie, if you take a look at the map after this guy gets ammo wrecked, what's his next best play? I personally would largely consider not going after the Churchill 1 if I was in his position, but Svoki's going to do that. I would try to take F1. That might let you kill the VK, AMX, and the Artie, but Svoki's not going to do that. And it's really interesting to see how it works out for him. I think this is the safer play, and ultimately it's really intelligent because by killing the Churchill 1, he wins his team this, right? That's what the Churchill's preventing his team from using. If the Churchill's here, he can't really play the ramp because then he's perma-lit by the Churchill. So by killing the Churchill, just fast forward it because it's driving. He's going to move up to here. He's going to just flank the Churchill. That guy can't do anything. He's a Churchill. Like, most Churchill drivers aren't very good anyways. No point in respecting them. Gets the kill. And then from here, he's now in the middle of the map. And so whether or not this was on purpose, he has shots on the Stug and anyone in F1. And the ELC is doing a great job of lighting that. Svoki's going to drive up this hill. And that's going to position him really well to shoot at the Stug right here. He misses a couple shots. But the point being, the positioning's really strong. And then what happens is after this Stug dies, like, he got lucky that the Stug dies, but after he does, he's in a perfect position to defend against the north. The enemy team won the northern side of the map, and because they have no one in F1 that we know of at this point, and Svoki is right here, he's taken the next position that actually allows him to win. If he hadn't played in this specific order, there's no way this game would be a win. ELC pops up, tries to get the shot. You'd expect him to get lit right here. He does. It's not like the ELC's down half of his crew or anything like that. Falling back, right thing. Just, you don't want to get clicked right here, and you would expect to get Artie being the only person alive. And this is the next play that I have no idea how he's doing this. He decides not to stick here around anymore. And this could be because he got lit and he wants to try to catch people out. But for whatever reason, and I think this, you'll see why it works. I don't know how he could have predicted it, but you'll see why it works. He comes up to here and the whole enemy team is over here. And what he's going to be able to do is, this is like 4 easy kills right here. It's 5 shots, and all these guys are dead. So, pops up to here, ELC's right there, no shots. T1 Heavy's driving in front of him, KV-122's crossing as well. Tries to put a shot into the KV-122, that one misses. Artie kills the T1 Heavy, so there's only 4 tanks left right here. He picks up the KV-122. Now there's a T67, ELC takes the shot at the ELC, that one misses. I don't know if he gets it. He does get the kill right there. That's his 8th one of the game. And he's not getting greedy. He's not going after the T67. This is really good right here because you'd expect Artie to try to pop a shell right into this area. Now, as he falls back, I think it's his Artie fear that made him play. Look at this. He's got a 25 TP, and if you look at the map, he doesn't see it right now on his camera. T67, and obviously the full HP VK right there. So what is the best way to respond to this situation? Well, I can tell you, what I would do is, if my turret's already pointed at this guy and I'm aiming here, I don't know if I would notice the T67. Svoki clearly hasn't. He gets hit by the 67, and this is, I would have tried to kill them. This is so good. He sees he's in a shitty situation, he gets safe, and this isolates, he's not in a 3v1 anymore. He pokes on the T67, that guy misses, he was moving, Svoki was reversing, he's going to have better gun handling when he's reversing up a hill. And, well, now there's only 2 tanks left, one of them very far south of the map, and he can now proceed to isolate the 25 TP. We know exactly where that guy is, we also know the VK's HP, he's full HP. We don't know where Artie is, but the play that Svoki makes from here, I'm going to pause it once again, and you can take a second to try to figure out what the hell he does, because there's a whole load of options that you, if you were trying to carry, could make. Like, there's a whole load of plays right now, and I guarantee what you're thinking is probably not what he does. So you could go up here, right? That would work. He could actually double back, try to play these bushes, kill the 25. This is what he does instead. He goes right up to here, and instead of like going up the 0 line, which is what I would try to do with my camo, he plays the view range game. So he's trusting his crew so that he can drive across the open field. And if you look at the view range thing, he's totally fine right here. VK gets lit. There's no chance of him shooting that, and he's got his binocs and camo net set up. After not spotting the 25 for a bit, you would expect the 25 to not be here anymore. He's going to be moving to try to shoot at the M41 and M10 after they get lit, and there he is. He's doing it way too late, but Smokey's in the right position. He's going to set up his camo net before shooting. The second it gets up, he shoots, and he doesn't get spotted because of his patience right there. So he's now in a position that lets him shoot at the VK. This is amazing from his perspective, and now it's just a matter of his gun doing what it's supposed to. He gets the track on the VK. He's just going to hold left click, try not to melt the gun. And after maybe 4 shots, he should get the kill. And then there's Artie. And as in this type of situation, with 12 kills against an Artie, what you never want to do is you never want to throw. So I'm going to comment, like, if you died to Artie in this case, you would be so fucking mad. Oh my lord. So he's in this situation where 3k damage, basically 11 kills, M41 left. How he decides to approach, I think, is really good. He pops up to here, and he doesn't commit over. A lot of people would do that. He checks it first, and now he's just driving on the ridge. By driving on the ridge, if Artie's here, he can go left. If Artie's there, he can go right, and he would assume if he got lit that Artie was to his left right here. So he's playing it actually really safely, in my opinion. Cresting this is totally fine, and well, the M41 was last spotted in B1. So his approach to B1 is absolutely the right play. A lot of people only know of this position because they saw me play it in the grill where I was insulting my whole team. But what he does is he pops up to here and he's got the flank on the Artie. And that's a really easy kill. Misses the first shot. I think HE would be justifiable in this situation. Artie is a 3-shot regardless, but he gets the high roll. He gets the kill, and just like that, what a game. I'm really I really enjoyed that one. He started off exactly like I did, played not as I would have, and that's why he I don't think I would have had anywhere near as good of a game in this situation, because I probably would have ignored the KV1 to try to take the enemy base. So that's the replay. I hope you enjoyed. We'll go take a look at the end plate, see if he did any blind damage or anything like that, and that'll be the video. Alright, so that was a mastery badge. Could you imagine if it wasn't? I'd be so fucking pissed. Oh my god. He did no blind damage with that game. 12 kills, Top Gun, High Caliber, Pools, and Pascucci's medal. That's for killing 2 SPGs, and if you're in a tank destroyer, that's how you get it, basically. So, I don't know what the other medals are. Frankly, I don't care. They just come so easily. 1538 base XP. So if you're having trouble doing well in this tank, it's people like this who are raising the average, basically. You lost credits, of course. If you make credits on a 12-kill game, that's impressive as hell. No one really ever does that. That game took 10 minutes. I probably extended it to long enough, so I get the ad revenue. And well, I thought that was a really good game, especially his driving, his flexing. Like, you might not be able to replicate his micro plays, but you can replicate his situational awareness fairly easy, right? Like, if you force yourself to look at the map and watch YouTube videos, you can typically get a good idea of what the hell is going on, or how to position yourself. And so that's kind of where you start if you're trying to get better at the game. So I thought he did a really good job. He had the individual skill to back up his aggression, but if you were slightly passive in his position, you would have had a very similar game, especially because he didn't push like I would have tried to do with my individual skill, because I can typically get away with that kind of thing. So I hope this video was helpful. If you want to see more, be sure to hit the like and the subscribe button, and I hope to see you around. Later, guys. Bye.